From the weather team you can trust, here's Chief Meteorologist Eric Snyder.
And tomorrow's really going to be our first day out of this so far, where the weather is going to end up being imperfect. We're going to have some rain and some thunderstorms perhaps into the early afternoon to track. No severe weather, but lightning when you've got a few thousand people that are out there surrounded by trees, yeah, that's going to be a thing that we're going to pay attention to tonight. This is just rain. It's light to moderate rain. It's enough to wet the roadways and maybe slow travel a touch here, but that's all that we are talking about, just rain and birds. Many millions of those birds. This is literally now like the peak week of bird migration, and we're seeing that illuminated by our radars with the fact that radar doesn't know the difference between rain and birds. It's going to show just that radar beam energy getting reflected back to the radar. We have tricks that can help us differentiate, but it does make life a little bit more difficult here. Steadier rainfall continues around the Rochester area. Narrow streaks of locally heavier downpours. Even there, I hesitate to use the word heavily, strongly. Relative, that's where the heavier rain is, but this really isn't heavy. And again, no thunder, no lightning, no big problems out of this. Multiple clusters additionally off to the west. We will have to deal with that. And then we get into tomorrow. There will be a break tomorrow. Look, there's going to be chunks of the day tomorrow, large chunks of the day, in fact, that it is not raining. But it's the chunks where it is raining that could be a little bit trickier here. Upper level low more toward the UP of Michigan will swirl its way on in on Thursday, making Thursday less a wet day per se. There's going to be some showers, but more just a cold and raw day with more of a northerly wind flow. This is early tomorrow morning. You still have your downpours around. That'll be followed by break. Now here's where things start getting a little dicey as we welcome lunchtime into the middle part of the afternoon. Any partial sunshine here in that break, and there will be some, will allow our temperatures to spike into the 60s. That will give us a brief window where the air becomes marginally unstable. This line will form at some point into the early afternoon, probably very close to being right over Highland Park. And if we end up where that does happen, I do think there's enough juice in the air for some bolts of lightning to be involved. If you are Lilac Fest bound tomorrow early afternoon, just kind of eyeball where you would go in the event you do have a thunderstorm, and it's probably around that 2 p.m. time frame. That would be smart of you to do. Into Thursday, there's still some spotty rain showers. It's less the overall rain and more, we're talking about temperatures that might not be getting out of the 40s with a breeze out of the north. A lot of cloud cover there too. By Friday, we'll start to hopefully gradually clear this out. By the afternoon, that gets us back into the 60s. Rainfall totals continue to average plus minus about a ½ inch of wet weather. We've got high lakes, a swollen Lake Ontario. That's not going to be a big problem, fortunately. Saturday, we spike into the 70s. Sunday's going to be close. And then this is not a pipe dream. I actually think there's a legit chance we get into the 80s for highs on Monday. We have not done that yet so far this spring. That is late in the game for us to still have not done that yet. Could Monday finally break that streak?
You know, it's